In Minnesota's Iron Range, a landscape that was shaped by the mines, is a place that helped define American hockey, a place of iron and ice, of pride and heart, a place where neighbors became family, and that family became champions, a community with a history that may never be matched, and stories that span over a century. Some of the records may never be broken, and some of its stories may never be told. This place is the heartbeat of a town, of a game, of its players past and present. This is the Hip. Before the Hippodrome, kids played boot hockey in the streets, using tennis balls, coal, or chunks of ice for pucks. 20 kids from one block playing keep away until dark. Hayes Street versus Summit Street. This was the beginning of Eveleth hockey. In the early 1900s, the town's population and desire for winter activities grew. So in 1918, Eveleth built the recreation building, curling on the main floor and a full hockey rink on the second floor. They hosted teams such as the Eveleth Reds. They played their first game here in 1919. The rec proved Eveleth's passion, but as hockey grew, the city knew it needed a true arena. So the plan was set. Mayor Essling led construction of a 230-foot by 150-foot wooden arena, seating roughly 3,000 people. The cost? $50,000, an enormous investment for that time. On January 1st, 1922, the new Hippodrome opened its doors. The Eveleth Reds defeated the Duluth Hornets 10-6. It was a defining moment in this town's history and set a path for what this place would become. The players on the teams like the Reds and the Rangers were like heroes to local kids. They would do anything to see them play. They may not have had the price for admission, but they did have determination. So kids snuck in through coal chutes, tunnels, windows, any way that they could. They didn't just come to watch. They came to learn, to dream, to collect broken sticks. And if you got one, it was probably best to go home early. Through the years, the hip was used heavily. The wood began to age. The stucco began to crumble. So in 1938, the Hippodrome was renewed. Wooden walls replaced with brick, a new south lobby, basement locker rooms, reinforced beams and trusses, a full modernization as the building entered its golden era. The years that followed produced some of the most dominant teams Minnesota has ever seen. These stories still feel unbelievable. One example was in 1945. Eveleth defeated Granite Falls 16-0 in the state quarterfinals. They faced one shot. One. It still stands as the record for fewest shots faced in a state tournament game. Between 1945 and 1951, Eveleth won 4 straight state titles and put together a 78-game winning streak. Some of the greatest names in hockey passed through the Hip. Among them was John Mayasich, raised alongside 11 siblings, all sharing a single pair of skates. His father worked long shifts in the mines. His mother managed the home and children. They never made it to a single game. A sacrifice that's difficult to fully grasp today. But for families on the Iron Range then, daily survival left little room for anything else. John always said he knew they were proud of him. He remembers seeing his mother watching through the window as he played street hockey with friends, the only way she ever got to see him play. And yet, inside this building, he grew into one of the greatest players the sport has ever known, a reflection of the Iron Range itself. Work ethic, sacrifice, quiet determination. During high school, his coach received a donated pair of skates from a community member and passed them on to John. For 2 years, the skates were too large. He filled them with newspaper to make them fit. Then the next 2 years, they were too small. Even so, he set records that may never be broken. His story carries a weight that feels especially relevant today. When equipment is expensive, specialized training is common, and so much emphasis is placed on individual achievement. Then came 1951, another turning point. The Hippodrome installed artificial ice, allowing a longer season, consistent ice quality, and training conditions rarely matched anywhere in America at its time. It elevated Eveleth's hockey development to an entirely new level. From 1945 to 1956, Eveleth made 12 state appearances. That legacy is one of the reasons why Eveleth became home to the United States Hockey Hall of Fame, a testament to the talent, history, and the impact that grew out of this small town, and this building. But the Hippodrome wasn't just a hockey arena. Through the decades, it hosted basketball, curling, ping pong, fundraisers, community events, concerts. Even Tony Bennett played there. For many families, their memories here aren't tied to hockey at all, but to moments under this roof, meeting a special someone during open skate, circling the rink until the whistle blew and everyone turned the other direction simultaneously. It was a special place for everyone and everything. A building becomes special because of the people who fill it. Few brought more heart to the Hippodrome than Louis Gigi Sabetti. He spent 33 years as Eveleth's Park and Recreation Director, always smiling, always steady, and the kind of person no one has a bad word for. He went out of his way to make sure the Hip was more than a rink. For every family in town, it was safe, warm, and welcoming. And long before Title IX, when girls weren't participating in youth hockey, Gigi made sure they still had a place here. He created opportunities, made space, and made it clear that the ice belonged to them too. For over 100 years, the Hippodrome has stood strong at Douglas and Jackson, holding the sound of skates, the laughter of families, the pride of a town, and the legacy of legends. A rink that grew with the game, a landmark that carries the past into the future. Today, the building is home to Rock Ridge, along with the Minnesota Wilderness. Kids still chase loose pucks and look up at jerseys that connect them to more than a century of history. I'm grateful to share even a small piece of this story, but understand this: what you've seen here is only one chapter. The real story lives far beyond these frames. So I'll leave you with this. Go find the rest yourself. Walk through the United States Hockey Hall of Fame. Sit in the stands for a Wilderness game and feel this old building come alive. Stand inside the Hip and listen. The history speaks if you give it a moment. You won't regret it. This place is different. This place is sacred. This is the Eveleth Hippodrome.